Trouble is brewing all around us. What should we be doing? Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. And I just got done with my ruck. That's why my sweat marks are from my ruck. And I'm covered in sweat. My back is probably soaked. Yep, there you go. Good ruck today. That's what you should be doing. You should be getting out and doing the things. You should be getting out and growing your own food. You should be getting out and rucking. You should be stockpiling food. You should be stockpiling water. You should be identifying sources of water. And a lot of other things we're going to get into in this video. But before I go any further, a lot of times I forget to the end, but let's talk about it right now. Growing the community. Part of growing the community is subscribing to all the good channels out there. So I would ask you to please subscribe to this channel. Please give the video a thumbs up or a thumbs down, whatever you feel necessary. I feel it's worth a thumbs up. I think it's a good video upcoming, what I'm going to talk about. Also sharing the videos and commenting below. Let me know what you're doing in reality, because we can talk about all the fear stuff all the time, and we can talk about what's going on in the world, which is important. It's important to talk about this stuff. It's important to be aware of it. But the more important part to me is, what are we actually doing about it? What is our short-term capability, our intermediate capability, and our long-term capability? Short-term capability would be food storage, but food storage can also be medium and long-term capability. But true, and then throw in there also your ability to stretch that food storage. Food storage should be supplementing other things that you're doing. Only a supplement, a backup, an emergency plan. Your food storage, your water storage, all your preps are your emergency fund. Just like you have money in the bank, hopefully not in the bank, in your safe, on your property, buried somewhere, however you do it. You should have an emergency fund for when things happen. Say something breaks and you got to fix it. House, vehicle, whatever. Then it's not an emergency, right? Like Dave Ramsey says, it's not an emergency if you have an emergency fund, because then you just go like, okay, you pay for it, no emergency, no stress, all that stuff. That's what food storage is. That's what preparedness is. Preparedness is your emergency plan or your emergency fund. Food storage is living insurance versus life insurance, which is actually death insurance, right? Prepping is living insurance. So remember those things first. Then what should you be doing? Okay, like I said, your preps, food storage, etc. is your emergency plan. That's if all other things fail, then you open up those buckets, those containers, whatever it is, and start using as little as you possibly can so you can stretch it as long as you can. So what are the things can you do? They should be your primary sources of your food and of your preparedness plan, overall plan. What should the primary sources of that be, since that's your backup? Your primary sources should be doing things like this: growing your own food, raising your own animals. And then the backup to that is getting out there and hunting, foraging, fishing, trapping, snaring, those kind of things. Whether you're looking for wild edibles or wild medicinals. Very important skill sets to have. But as people saw in the Great Depression, those animals out there won't last very long, an extended period of time. If it's an extended breakdown, collapse, stuff like that, they won't last. So hunting, yes, it's an option. Yes, you should have it. Yes, you should know how to store that meat that you get for long term, whether it be salting it, whether it be pickling it, whether it be home canning it, jarring it, whether it be dehydrating it, whether it be freeze drying it, whatever your abilities make possible for you to long-term store that meat. That's important. Foraging for wild edibles, you probably have better luck over a longer period of time having those be available. Simple weed in your garden, dock. I probably have some right here. Actually, I don't have any right here. I'm looking at some over there. They used to be the bane of my existence. I used to try to pull it up all the time and get rid of it because it was weeds and I wanted to look nice in my property. Then I realized, wait a sec, What's more important? To leave the wild edibles around my property that may look like weeds, making my garden may not look pretty, or having a pretty garden? Honestly, I don't care about a pretty garden. I mean, yeah, I would like things to look nice around here, but leaving those things in place, leaving the plantain, leaving the dock, leaving the nipple wart, all these different things around the Japanese knotweed, not cutting it all down and getting rid of all of it. Leaving those things. And blackberries, the bane of my existence. All those are blackberries. And behind the tomatoes here and the peppers and everything, all down there, all the way down to my lower field, are all blackberries. I hate blackberries. I mean, I love eating them, but we have a couple here. So, being realistic as a prepper. A lot of people talk about bunkers, they talk about bugging out, bug out routes, bug out bags, all this stuff like that. They talk about, survival shelters, there's so many things. But really what's important is having the ability to produce your own food by growing it, raising it yourself, which is the easiest way to do it, because if you have to go out foraging, you're going to use more calories, you're going to exert yourself more, and the calories that you are gathering may or may not actually meet your body's needs of the calories expended to go get that stuff. Still a good skill to have, still a good thing to practice, still a good thing to have in your tool belt. Important, yes. But long-term sustainability is gardening and raising your own animals, collecting your seeds for the next year, regrowing them, and, like I mentioned before, talking about the food storage. Let's get back to that topic. Food storage. I was just watching, as I'm rucking, a video by Bear Independent talking about, he's answering a letter, comment or something like that from this couple in Israel. They were asking about how to prepare. And he was mentioning grains, meaning like wheat, corn, rice, and beans. Those are his four. And how 750 pounds of a combination of those things per person per year, which gives about 3,000 calories. Great plan. Great plan. Because not everybody, my 6-year-old girl is not going to eat 3,000 calories a day. Neither is my wife. But am I going to need 4, 5, 6,000 calories a day? Maybe. So that's a good number. It's a good, rough ballpark number. Because like he said, it gives him more overhead, which is a good plan. And those 4 things are good things to stockpile. But beyond those 4 things, that's long-term stuff. What should you have also? You should have a mix of canned goods, freeze-dried stuff, etc. And I haven't mentioned it in a long time because I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I'm not really good at this whole affiliate thing. I don't want to talk about it that much. But like I mentioned, the freeze-dried stuff. And I just did a video response to Prepper Princess video not that long ago where she talked about freeze-dried stuff being a salt lick. Let me tell you, my Patriot Supply, the Ready Hour foods, I don't feel that, and we don't use much salt in our diet. We don't think that they taste like salt licks. I think it's pretty darn good food. And I wouldn't be affiliated with them if I didn't believe that. But if you want to check out, I can save you a little bit of money. If you want to get some of that freeze-dried stuff as part of your preparedness plan, not the whole thing, don't be going and spending thousands and thousands of dollars on there unless you got all the other stuff also. But preparewithap.com, links in the description below. You can go there. Like I said, I can save you some money, and I get a little bit of affiliate. I'm not good at this affiliate thing. I don't like trying to sell people things. But it is good stuff. We stockpile it. We have eaten it. We try not to eat it more often because I want it in my stockpiles because it's good stuff. But anyway, so there's that. That is one aspect of your preparedness plan. But that's only one little tiny part. I really like canned goods because why? Yes, they're heavier. Yes, they may not have as long of shelf life, although there's been canned goods eaten by people that have been expired for a long time, and they're still good. But I'm not telling you to eat expired food. Do that at your own, I don't want you to get sick and then blame me. You got to do the smell test, taste it, make sure it's okay, obviously. But canned goods, what I like about that is they're rations. They are quick and easy. They don't require any form of cooking. You can eat them right out of the can. I like having that option along with the other options. Well balanced. Preparedness is a whole system approach. To be truly prepared, which is what we're talking about today. Not all the fluff, not all the cool gadgets on Amazon, not all the cool tactical stuff. No, real preparedness. Real preparedness revolves around several simple concepts, but it takes a lot of skills, which is where you can't, where I have to mention, where you can't do it yourself. Tribe, your mutual assistance groups, your mags, your crews, your teams, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what you call it. Just have good people around you. It's one of the hardest things you can do in preparedness. A lot of people can't even get their own family members on board, which after the events of the last couple of years, I have no idea how in the world you can't get somebody on board with preparedness, because people fighting over toilet paper, hand sanitizer, masks, gloves, etc. And now the shortages, and now all this, the war, crap going on, increased prices. I mean, shoot. I don't know. I know it happens. I wish you the best of luck if you're in that situation. But real preparedness, I have a feeling that a lot of people, and I'm not necessarily knocking, a lot of people watch preparedness channels and videos for entertainment purposes. They're not really actually doing the things because it requires a lot of work. It requires money. It requires dedication. It requires time. I hope that I'm wrong, and I hope that you guys here, subscribed or not, are actually doing the things. Like I talked about, I start off the video talking about my exercise for the day, my workout. I talk about all my workouts on Patreon, which if you're interested in going there, links in the description below. It's $1 a month. Hundreds of good videos there, good content. We go a lot more in depth on stuff, gardening, tactical stuff, security, defensive, well-rounded, all over the place there. But please, if you're one of those people that isn't necessarily maybe taking it as seriously as others, or maybe as you should be, please take it seriously. I care about you and all of us getting through this successfully. Not just surviving, but thriving. It's going to get difficult. It's going to get tough. Times are going to be hard. It's going to be ugly. It is going to be horrible. Who knows? I may die day one of the collapse. Don't know. But what I can do now is I can do the best I can to provide for my family, for my tribe, for the people around me, and try to be an asset to society when we're on the backside and we're rebuilding. I just hope I live long enough to see that. So be realistic with your preparedness, with your preps. All the stuff going on in the world, yes, it's good to talk about. I talk about the Minuteman stuff. I talk about all the threats. I talk about all kinds of stuff. But when it comes down to it, stockpile food, stockpile water, grow your own food, and just do the best you can. I love you guys. Have a wonderful day, and blessings to you and yours.